take all my happiness away from me and just make me sad. Hi. So Christmas has just been and I have a stack of books that I need to get through, and I thought I would do a haul because I have quite a collection. So this is kind of it's not just Christmas, this is a kind of December Christmas haul because I have a couple of books from Illuminations too that I thought I would check in. So yeah, let's go because we're going to be here for a while. So first up I'll talk about the Illuminations ones because they're not Christmassy, but I had them just before Christmas. So the first one was The Cousins by Karen M. McManus, who I have one of her books here which I haven't read, but I think they're all kind of YA thrillers, and this is her newest one. I'm excited. I haven't really read much in the way of YA thrillers, but I see her books around all the time, so they must be okay. So I'm excited to give this a go, and it has lovely black edges, which excites me immensely. And then the other Illuminations book for the month was The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page, which again, the edges, like, they're so pink and bright and beautiful. And I think this is set in a boarding school. I think it's kind of a dark academia thriller with, oh, see, there's witches. I didn't know there was witches, but there's witches, and there's a sorority, and bad things happen, and they have to solve the problems. So this sounds kind of interesting. Maybe not something I would really gravitate towards much these days, but I think it'll be a fun time. Okay, so then we move into Christmas gifts, which there's quite a few of. So yeah, a lot of these I have read before because I'd read them throughout the year and they were my favourites, but I'd read them as ebooks and I wanted the physical copy. So a couple of these are books I have read, but there are some that I also have not. So let's get into it. First one is one from Alex, aka my boyfriend, who bought me a very fancy book. So a while back when I started getting into mythology and things, I also started getting into fairy tales, and I really wanted like a proper book of real fairy tales. And so he got me a very fancy version of Grimm's fairy tales from, I believe it's the Folio Society edition, which is very fancy and a nice little box, and it's navy blue and it's illustrated, which I am very excited about. Like, you know, it's just proper. This is the fanciest book I own. It's really just a good piece to have more than anything, and I just love it. I think, oh, it's just perfect. It's the full collection of Grimm's fairy tales in the most beautiful edition, and I'm really excited. So I feel like this is the kind of book that I can just, you know, pick up and read a story or two every now and again, rather than, you know, a book that I will read all the way through. But I always have it come to now, and I'm really excited about it. So thank you, Alex. Even though I know he doesn't watch these videos, I don't let him watch these videos. But thank you anyway. I love you lots, and this was a wonderful present. Okay, then I got a couple of presents from some Booktube friends / Book Twitter friends. First up is The Never Tilting World, which was a gift from Katie, who is at Brightness Katie Reads. If for some reason you're not familiar, I'll leave her channel below. She is one of my faves. I love her a lot, and she's a big part of why I've got so into fantasy this year, because she is a Sanderson stan, a Cosmia stan. She has so many fantasy recommendations, and I'm just working my way through them, and she's just the best. She's so lovely, and her channel is great. She posts some of the best videos, and you should go check her out if you haven't watched her already. But she bought me The Never Tilting World, which I'm very excited about, because I only added this to my wish list a week or two ago, I think, because I saw it pop up somewhere on Goodreads or Twitter, and I was like, wait, this sounds great. And Katie said it's one of her favourite fantasy romances, which speaks to me, really speaks to me. So she knew what she was doing with this one. So it says, generations of twin goddesses have long ruled Aeon until one sister's betrayal split their world in two. A great abyss now divides two realms, one cloaked in eternal night, the other scorched beneath an ever-burning sun. Two goddesses' daughters must set out on separate, equally dangerous journeys in in hope of healing their broken world, no matter the sacrifice it demands. And it just sounds great, and I'm excited about it. And also it's floppy, which is not important, but it is to me, and I'm really excited. So thank you, Katie. Then another gift was from Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which was a gift from Lucy. She doesn't have a booktube, but she has a blog, which I will also link below because she is also brilliant. And another Cosmere friend who I met, I think I was reading Warbreaker, and she tweeted me or messaged me and was like, oh my god, I love this book. And since then we've just been obsessed, and we are stans of the hating game, which I mentioned in my last video, but we have very similar tastes in books, and this is one of her favourites, and she thinks I love it, and I think I love it, and I'm really excited. But this is heavy, like, it's quite chunky, but like, for whatever reason this book is just really heavy, but I'm really, really excited about this because it's hyped up all over the internet, and I always see people talking about it, and I need to get to it, so now's my chance. Thank you, Lucy. Well, the rest of these books were gifts from my family, and there's a lot of them, but as I said, most of these I have read. I kind of go through the ones I have read first because they were just ones that I'd had as ebooks and I wanted physical copies of because I love them. So first up we have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I mentioned in my favourites video. I love this book. I think it's great. I think the storytelling is incredible. I think the actual, just the idea of it is something that I would have thought I would love so much, but I did. It's got this old Hollywood vibe to it, and it's just great. And if you haven't read this for some reason, you should. I talked about it more in my favourites video if you want to go there, but it's also a white hardback with gold like gilding on the edges, and it's just beautiful. I don't think I have a white hardcover, which I'm very excited about this, and I'm happy to have it on my shelf. Then, predictably, because it's me, I have the collector's edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses, but only obviously the first book. I don't actually own physical copies of the rest of the books. Well, now I do, because now I have A Court of Mr. Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight in the new editions, which everyone seems to dislike. I really like, personally. I don't like them in the paperback. I like them in the hardback with the grey. I think they look really nice, and I'm really excited because the new book comes out in February. I have 2 copies on the way. I'm really excited. I'm planning a reread in January, and I'm just excited to have them on my shelf. And yeah, so the actual hardbacks themselves, I think, are the colours of like the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The kind of feature colour. So they're very bright. But yeah, I'm really excited about it because these books are some of my favourites and I love them. I'm still confused as to why. I know A Court of Wings and Ruin is bigger, but for some reason the physical copy is smaller, and I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to have them, so there's that. Then, again, another favourite of my year was the Stormlight Archive, which I also talked about in my favourites video. But I really wanted to collect the US hardcovers. I really like the UK covers. They're kind of more minimalist, and I really like them. They're just kind of black with like a hint of red. But you can't really get the hardcovers, but I think they are re-releasing them starting next year, but I actually really like the US ones because they're just illustrated and they look really nice. And particularly Rhythm of War, I don't know if you can see it right now, but Rhythm of War is up there and it's beautiful. So I bought that, and I bought The Way of Kings, but then for Christmas my parents got me Words of Radiance, and Alex also bought me Oathbringer. So now I have the complete collection, all 4 Stormlight Archive books, ready for my inevitable reread where I'm gonna this is so stupid, but I would like to tab these and annotate, but like they're big and I'm gonna need like 1,000 tabs, but I'm excited to reread them, and now I have them all and they're gonna look so good on my shelf and I can't wait. Continuing my Cosmere collection, another favourite of my year, also mentioned in my favourites video, was Mistborn, and I got the full collection of the 10th anniversary hardback editions of The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages, which I love these books so much. Again, I'm planning on rereading maybe in January. January seems to be a reread month for me. But I'm really excited, and I think these editions are really lovely. Like I said, they're the 10th anniversary editions, and they're quite small. They don't have a dust jacket, they're just pretty with some illustration on them, and I just think they're lovely, and I'm really, really, really excited to reread them. So there's this one. The first one looks like this, and then we have Dwell Ascension. I just think they're really nice and kind of minimal with, you know, the colouring and the grey and gold. And then we have The Hero of Ages, which I'm excited, just ruin my life all over again, you know, just take all my happiness away from me and just make me sad because I need it. And then the last couple are ones I have not read, but they are all around a theme, and that theme is Greek mythology. As I've said a million times, I really want to get into Greek mythology a bit more, so I have... first up is this book, which is Mythology, Timeless Tales of Gods and Heroes, which is the 75th anniversary illustrated edition. This book is heavy, but it's kind of a collection of, you know, all the gods and heroes and all the stories, and again, illustrated beautifully. And oh my god, I just love it. So I first saw this when I started getting into mythology. I went onto a Frolic Through Fictions channel, and she had a video where she showed all of her mythology books, and this was on there, and it really caught my eye, and I felt like I needed it, just because, again, it's just one of those books like the fairy tales that I can come to, pick up whenever, read a story or two, and just read the classics in like a pretty easy to follow format. It's also gold, the actual thing. It's kind of like a rose gold colour, and it's really pretty. And again, I'm just excited to have it as kind of a go-to for just if I ever fancy just reading a story, if I want to find out more about a certain story or character. This is kind of an encyclopedia that I can go to and read and enjoy. So this is what I'm really, really excited about, if you couldn't tell. And then, just because if I want to get into Greek mythology, I feel like I need these. Not as easy to understand, I'd imagine, but I got the Penguin Clothbound Classics versions of the Odyssey and the Iliad by Homer, just the classics when it comes to Greek mythology, and I feel like I need these in my life if I'm going to get into Greek mythology. I think these are going to be quite a task for me to try and read, because I don't read classics. These are like, I don't know how I'm going to get on with the language in them, but I'm really excited to try, and I'm excited to have them again, to just come to whenever I want a little bit of mythology. I'm just really excited about these, and I think like they're absolutely beautiful, and they match, like one's watery, one's fiery, and they just, oh, beautiful, and I'm really excited and grateful to have them. So that's all the books that I got for Christmas. I say all as if that was like nothing. I'm surrounded by books right now, but I'm really excited and very grateful. So if you were watching this and you did get me something, thank you. I'm honestly, this is like a collection of so many things that I just can't wait to read or reread, and yeah, I'm just really happy. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my channel this year. I just reached 100 subscribers last week, and I'm so excited. I didn't expect to make a YouTube channel ever. It was kind of a random thing that my friends pushed me to do, and I'm really happy they did, because I just enjoy talking about books. You know, I don't really have that many people in my life who I can talk to about books, but now I've found so many people and so many friends to talk to about books, and I'm really happy. And thank you if you're here and a part of it. Yeah, I don't know, I'm getting all sappy now because it's Christmas and like but yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.